Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
This is too much for me to handle. I can't believe it. I don't believe it. I know it's real, but I don't believe it. Back-to-back shutouts for Carter Hart. It's ridiculous. The kid is so smooth in between the pipes. I've never seen someone look so comfortable at such a young age, and it is the difference in this series. Now, I will say, I do believe that Alain Vigneault has a style right now that limits the Canadiens' chances, and with this style, it's not a full, intense offensive strategy, and that's why the Flyers aren't putting up 4 or 5 goals. They are so dedicated to what they're doing in the D zone. It's also taking away some of their chances offensively, but guess what? It's clearly working, and when you have a netminder, that's what you need, baby. That's all you need. You need your goalie to come up big. And there are some breakdowns that I'm not satisfied with. There are some situations where I think the defenseman and stuff that happens in the D zone allows the Canadiens to get a better chance than I would like them to get. But when you have Carter Hart in net, he's going to come up with those saves more times than not, and that's how you win games. And I do think that they can score more goals. Here's another game where they had plenty of opportunities on the power play and did not cash in. Sean Couturier, I'm looking at you. It was a 1-0 game in the first period, and he was wide open back door, and he wasn't able to finish, right? So there were moments where the team could have made it 3-0. I almost said 1, as if someone actually scored on Carter Hart in the last 2 games. Shame on me. But it easily could have been 3-0 or so. But they're failing to cash in on the power play. They're getting power plays, which means they're earning them, right? They're working hard. They're competing, forcing the Canadiens to take penalties, which is a great sign. But you got to do the second part, and that's execute. But ultimately, I think you're seeing a style of play that isn't so crazy to the common eye. It doesn't pop like, wow, look at the style of this Flyers team. They just dominate and take control. It's not as eye-popping, but it does what it needs to do, and that's win hockey games. And when you have the D-core playing the way that they're playing, blocking shots, and when you have everyone committed in the D zone as a whole, all 5 guys out there on the ice committed to play their style in the D zone, it works, and it looks like the Canadiens, they don't have an answer. This episode of Sports Talk with Broads is sponsored by Orbit Energy and Power. With over 20 years of experience in the solar industry, they are home to your solar experts in both residential and commercial projects. They are dedicated to making sure your project is completed easily and properly by using high-quality materials and trained professionals to get the job done right. Make sure you check out their information. It's in the description. Now, we have some phone calls to react to, your phone calls, that is. You can call the 24/7 Anytime hotline at 856-442-9805. Before we get to that, though, a little bit more on this game. New lineup, Connor Bunnaman and Joel Farabee in, Baker Bell and JVR out. I don't think that JVR is being utilized properly, but who am I to argue Alain Vigneault when he puts this lineup out there? It worked, okay? They clearly benefited from it. And I think he went with a philosophy today where he was mixing up all the lines. The top 6 clearly has not been an X factor when it comes to producing goals, so why not try all these new looks and see what happens? Well, guess what? Raffl today playing with Jake Voracek at one point. And how about that little how do you do where Jake Voracek keeps the puck in the zone? It allows, well, it doesn't keep it in the zone. The puck does actually technically leave the zone. But it was a turnover by the Canadiens because of Voracek. He throws it to Raffl. And here comes Raffl down the right side and absolutely nips Carey Price. This puck in slow motion, you can actually see the slow motion shot on my Twitter at Broads81. This puck picked the corner. It was a perfect shot. Boom! 1-0 Philadelphia Flyers. And they had power play chances when it was 1-0. One specifically, they couldn't score. What the hell? You got to be kidding me. Let's bury it. Coochie, you're wide open. But the second period comes along. And I like the pace of the first. And I like the way the Flyers played. They did have some 2-on-1 chances. They did allow some chances I didn't like on the other side, but they did have flow entering the zone and creating chances. In the second, though, they weren't throwing many pucks on net. They played a very defensive style. They weren't able to throw anything on Carey Price. You need to throw shots on Carey Price. Oh, what's that? Phil Myers threw a puck on net. Oh, what's that? He got a lucky bounce and it went in. That is why you do it. That is how you are going to score goals. You are going to have to score grimy, greasy goals no matter what it looks like. Let's go back here, okay? Claude Giroux in Game 3 put a puck on net. Jake Voracek scored the goal because he threw it on net, it hit off of him, and it went in. When you have these great goaltenders, I know that majority of the time they find a way to secure the puck and stop it, and then from there you have a face-off. But there are plenty of moments, no matter how great of a goaltender you are, where something slips by you, where it hits something on the way to the net and it squeaks through an armpit, or it finds a way through the 5-hole, or it goes a little bit left instead of coming straight on at you because it redirects off something. Start throwing pucks on net. They don't ask how it goes in. They ask how many. And the fact that this was such a big goal in that second period where the Flyers weren't able to really generate much offensively, that was a deflating goal, and that can happen in any game, in any playoff series. So utilize that, put that in your brain, and do it moving forward, because in a couple of games now, it has been the difference maker. Who knows what would have happened if it was a 1-0 game at that point. The 2-0 lead, now the heads are down for the Canadiens. Now they're upset. Now they're frustrated. Now they're disappointing. All because Phil Myers throws a how-do-you-do on net and gets lucky. But that play happens enough times where I can clearly say, let's continue to go down that road. I did see Tyler Pitlick drive in the net, because another big thing I want to see is get in front of Carey Price. Take away his eyes. Make sure that he can't see the puck. There's another way to score. Forcing the goalie to not see. Forcing the goalie to move his head around your body. Well, I saw Tyler Pitlick drive the net so hard. Here's his stick. It's literally wrapped around Carey Price's neck. Go to the net, baby. Go to the net. Give me that all day. Go to the net. Keep working. Keep going to that blue paint. That is how you're going to be successful. Now, on to the third. The Flyers had a power play with 7 minutes to go. No goal. The Flyers had a power play with 3 minutes to go. No goal. Now, Claude Giroux had a 2-on-1 with Sean Couturier, and he passed it up. Shoot the puck. Shoot the puck. And G has been bitten to this point. He hasn't been producing much when it comes to scoring goals. Shoot the puck. Is it a confidence issue at this point? I understand that on that specific 2-on-1, it wasn't a horrendous pass. Like, I get passing it there. But at the same time, knowing the struggles, and you still had a good look. I thought both options were good in that moment, but I would have liked to seen him shoot it just because of the nature of the beast and where this top six is right now. He needs to get going. This team will only be that much better. They're already good. They will be that much better if someone like Claude Giroux can get on the score sheet, and sometimes it's a snowball effect. Now, he has had assists, but he hasn't taken over enough for my liking. He needs to be a difference-making player who can score goals and play make and do it all. But you gotta produce more. You got to. And in that situation, while I'm not going to literally destroy him for thinking pass because his nature is pass first more than scoring, in that spot on that 2-on-1, I think Giroux needs to totally rip it on that. Maybe go far pad. If you don't have what you want, go far pad then. But at least throw it on the net. Try and see if it bounces off and goes right to Cootsy. Wide open net. Bang. Nothing wrong with a nice far pad play. That's how I made my living, baby. That's how I made my living. Couple close chances for Montreal in that third. Specifically 1 minute left to go. Here's the puck bouncing all around. Oh, I got so nervous. No, don't ruin the shutout. I need that second shutout in a row. I need it. Luckily, it didn't. And there was, I'm not going to say a scary moment, but there was a moment for Carter Hart where he was flexing his hand a bit after a glove save. It didn't look like he fully caught it in the netting of the glove, but it hit maybe his palm, and he was flexing his hand afterwards. I'm sure he'll be okay. The Flyers play a back-to-back tomorrow. What do? You got a goalie who's back-to-back shutouts. Do you play him tomorrow to try and make it a third? You're up 3-1. I don't know if you want to start playing around with Moose, and I think Moose could get the job done. To be clear, I think Moose has had a hell of a season, veteran guy. I think the Flyers could win a hockey game with Moose, but do you play around with it? Imagine losing the next game with Moose in the net, and it doesn't have to be his fault, but let's just say they do lose. Now it's 3-2. Come on, Game 6, big deal. You can't lose that game. Why play with fire? I think you continue to go down the road of the guy who is definitely tearing it up at the moment, and that, if you didn't catch the news, is Carter Hart. But I love the buy-in factor, blocking shots. Shea Weber winds up for a huge clap bomb. You know it's going to be 100-plus miles per hour. Let's just dive all over the ice and make sure we block shots. Robert Hagg, it looked like it nicked the side of his ear. Could have been a lot worse. He went down in some pain. Guys selling their body for Carter Hart and for the logo on the chest and for Alain Vigneault, of course. And it is so much fun to watch this team. Let's compare it to what we've seen with the Philadelphia 76ers right now. It's a complete joke. It's an opposite thing. I mean, I watch the Sixers and I'm laid back. The team stinks. They're not going anywhere. You're not on the edge of your seat. Flyers, edge of your seat, engaged. It's not the most beautiful style of hockey to the common guy. But when you watch what they're doing strategically and making sure the Canadiens don't have too many grade A scoring chances and they suffocate them, they're doing their job. And they are pushing when they get that chance. They're being very picky with their moments of going. But when they go, they do have it. They do have that chance. They have that 2-on-1. They have that odd man rush. How about that shot by Raffl? Ew, what a shot. Think about this team. They lose game 2, 5-0. They get waxed. Carter Hart gets pulled. Oh, here's a shutout. Oh, you want me to play the next game? Here's a shutout. It's incredible stuff. It really is. Support for Sports Talk with Broads is brought to you by Manscaped, who is best in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. You never want to cut yourself in the shower, fellas. You never want to cut yourself down low when you're making sure that everything is smooth for your date with your significant other, or doesn't have to be a significant other. It could be some random person out at the bar. You want to make sure that you are clean and smooth down there. And with the Lawnmower 3.0, you don't have to worry about cutting yourself because of Manscaped's advanced skin-safe technology. You can also get every spot down there because of the LED lights that make sure you don't miss any spot. Don't forget about the 7,000 RPM motor, which has quiet stroke technology. How about that? If you are listening to me, I want you to experience this firsthand. Trim that junk of yours. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code BROD. Let's listen to your reactions on the big victory. A 3-1 series lead. There was plenty of fans upset in the beginning of this series, and I was one of them because the team didn't look like they were destroying their opponent. And I feel we should maybe tip our caps to AV and tip our caps to this team and say, you know what, it might not be pretty, but their style of play works, and that's what matters, getting the victory. Do what you need to do. I don't care if you're winning 7-2 or 3-0 or 2-0. What I do care about, though, is the power play. I mean, it's no doubt it has to be figured out. You need to do more. You need to cash in on the peeper. It could have easily been 4-0 and cruising through. Instead of, even though they cruised through the game, there were some moments. But if it's 4-0 because you scored on those power play chances, it's a different vibe. Cash in. You have them. You have the power plays. That means you're working hard to get them. There's a reason why you're getting them. But that's only the first half. There's a second half. And it hasn't been accomplished enough.
Hey, bros, what's going on? First off, Carter Hart, goon. That man is an absolute G. And this is going to be a really fun couple years with this man, because this man is just blowing my mind every game he plays, and it's just been fun. Second, whatever this offense is doing against this team is it's just annoying, really. They are trying to be too cute with these passes and not shooting when they get the puck. And that's the problem with this Canadiens team, is that because they're so fast, they're getting to the puck too quickly for these guys to get their game plan in, and this Flyers team just needs to take shots. They need to stop trying so hard to get a nice beauty in there and just take the shots, like Myers did earlier, and I think that was a great example of it. Thank you.
I do think that they need to shoot more, without a doubt. I don't know if you're giving the Flyers enough credit for what they are doing. I get the frustration, without a doubt, and I brought up the Claude Giroux one, which I do think he needs to shoot in that situation, and I think that there are some 2-on-1 opportunities where passing should be involved, and I saw both sides of it, but just because on where this team is now and they haven't been scoring a lot of goals, I would have liked to seen the shot there. The Canadiens are fast, and they are getting up on this defense, and that is forcing them to make some decisions that they're normally not used to making, and that's what happens in a matchup like this, where you have a team that's playing carefree, and they don't have to worry about all the pressure because they came into this thing as a 12 seed, and they're just going, flying, playing, and doing their thing, and I think that's causing harm to the Flyers defense at times, but I think I can only say positive things about this game for the most part, because I think this is one of the stronger performances this series. They came out not flat. They were really rolling. They were buzzing with plenty of good chances. They were the better team in this one. I don't know if I can be too unsatisfied with the way that they played.
Flyers go up 3-1 in the series. The chance to put it away tomorrow. I'm liking it. You know what else I like? I love, actually, back-to-back shutouts from Carter Hart. He's been playing well, except for that monstrosity of Game 2, but he's been playing lights out. He is so locked in. It blows me away. But we need to talk about that power play. That power play is still a serious problem. We can't get out of this round with the power play looking like that. It just can't happen. And can Claude Giroux please shoot the puck? Dude, you got a cannon. Just shoot the puck. But, good game overall.
The Claude Giroux frustration is real, huh? Getting on Claude Giroux. Now, the first thing you mentioned was Carter Hart in Game 2, and that wasn't even his fault, to be honest with you. Yeah, he got pulled. He got pulled because of a statement from Alain Vigneault to his teammates, to his team. Hey, you guys aren't playing well enough. I got to yank this guy, and he doesn't deserve this. So it was more of a wake-up call to the team. There were some unfortunate bounces, a puck that hit off Ghost skate and ended up finding the twine behind Carter Hart. It wasn't even his fault. So all around, I think Carter Hart has been very magnificent through the first games. It wasn't magnificent in that game specifically. He was just okay. Now, though, he's turned the page. And you see him afterwards. You see the way he speaks. The dude's a true professional at this age. I can't wait for the next 15 years of this guy. 15 years puts him at 37. I bet you at 37 he's posting back-to-back shutouts in the postseason for this organization still. Love it.
Hey, bros. Just want to say, well, first off, I'm talking perspective of the third period because I couldn't watch the first two. But, hey, great speed, great intensity, way to keep up with the Montreal Canadiens, and even not even keep up, play better, and I felt more physical and aggressive. Power play, awful. But hey, at least they're getting shots off. They're working the puck, but I feel like they enter the zone and it's just not it. And even when they start coming out the ice into the zone, it's just something's still gotta be fixed. But I think a little bit better than the other night. But a win's a win. Carter Hart's a beast. Another shutout. You can't. I'm not sad about the win. I'm completely happy. But hey, I think they can play a lot better. Anyways, see you later.
Oh, so still going with the mindset of they can play a lot better. I do agree with the power play that it has set up. When it is in the zone, you did see more puck movement than you have in the last couple games. The zone entry, though, is a huge problem. And in that game 3, you saw how many times they were dumping in because they couldn't get the zone. Carey Price would move it to their defenseman, and from there they would beat the forecheck, and it would be non-existent. It wouldn't work. In this game, you did see some struggles with zone entry as well, but ultimately I think the power play did work better than it has. They just have to actually put that puck, that black thing that slides on the ice, they have to put it past the goalie. That's right. Past.
As I watched this series, Hunter, I was overly critical of the Flyers like we all were about their lack of offense, their lack of chances. But as I watch these games progress, I just think that's the way it's going to be in this series. It's going to be boring to watch. There's not going to be a lot of open ice to make creative plays. You're just going to have to get through it and get what you can. Again, the kid was solid in net again, came up big when he had to. I thought the power play looked a little bit better. I mean, they had some near misses today, so I guess there's hope for that. We got to eliminate them tomorrow night. I want to see them gone in 5, and let's hope these other Eastern Conference series get extended because rest is important in the postseason.
You nailed it with the style of play. It's just the matchup and the way the Canadiens play that forces the Flyers to have to go down this road. And I know that a lot of people might not like it because, as stated, there's not much room out there. It's not like there's a ton of open ice where they can go in the zone, create all these amazing plays, tic-tac-toe here and there. It's not the way it goes. And I'll relate this to basketball. People watch the 82-game regular season and they think that's how it is in the playoffs. And it's not. The game is slowed down. And in hockey, there's way more open ice in the regular season. The way that teams are more physical, the way teams take time and space away, the way that the game is intensified in the playoffs in hockey, it's very similar. It's not the same style of play, and I think you're noticing it. Now, it could be different in another matchup. It just so happens to be this matchup, the way that the Canadiens play, the Flyers have to counter this way. I don't know why at this point we should be upset about it, because there are Flyers fans still upset about it, not happy with the way it looks. Let's not do that. Let's focus on the big picture. They're up 3-1, and they're playing ugly because they have to play ugly. It doesn't say series win afterwards, but in parentheses, ugly doesn't count. No, that's not how things work.
Hey, Broads. Obviously, glad to see the Flyers win 2-0. I think they're playing a lot better than they've been playing since the 5-0 blowout. 1-20 on the power play is terrible. They need to fix that soon. I don't think they're going to get through in the further rounds with this terrible of a power play effort. I do think the defense is stepping up and helping out Carter Hart, who, props to him, 2 shutouts in a row in the playoffs. And the defense is blocking shots and getting in front of him. One question I have for you, Brody, is do you think it's a bigger wake-up call from the Flyers losing the 5-0 game? Do you think that's a momentum builder, or do you think that the Oscar Lindblom returning from a cancer treatment is a bigger momentum booster for them?
I think both, obviously, is something that this team thrives off of. Two different types of emotions. So with seeing Oscar Lindblom and him skating with the guys and him being there, that's such a pure joy standpoint. That's an energy booster when it comes to the morale and everyone being excited and everyone being happy. While the 5-0 loss was more of, I'm pissed off, I'm disgusted with our effort. We need to come out blazing because we are not okay with how things went down. That is not going to fly. That's not going to work. So one's pure frustration and the other is so happy and so exciting that you have that extra boost behind you. I think both come into play. On the ice, though, I think it's the 5-0. I do. I think the 5-0 loss is something long-term when it ate them alive to the point where they know that they need to be better because they are the better team. That probably fueled them a bit more, but that doesn't take away from what type of vibe can come off of Oscar Lindblom's story, right? I mean, I know I don't need to go into detail. We all know, that story, how crazy it is. I'm sure we all have family members, friends, or someone close to us that has gone through something of that nature and what it means when you see those people and when you get to communicate and talk with those people. So I'm not discrediting what that would do for a locker room. I just think the team knows how badly they played and how much better they are than that. And that probably was what got them over the hump to win these last 2 hockey games. So here you have it. You have an opportunity to put them away tomorrow on a back-to-back. I would hope Carter Hart's in that. I'm sure we will hear more information at some point. I wonder what AV is going to do with the lines. He's not afraid to move them around, and he's not afraid to put up a new lineup just because. I thought Bunman played well, no doubt. I thought Farabee played well. I thought the forwards played well. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you next time.